Let me ask you, why is now the right time to try to negotiate, end this war with the FARC? Why now?
There are several reasons. First, they are showing a will to negotiate. Second, we have some countries that are helping and can be very helpful in the process. Third, the oldest part of the FARC are thinking that they're going to die, that the way of violence will not take them to their objective, that they have recognized that, and so I think the conditions are right.
Do you feel that they're defeated? They just put out a rap video, as you know very well, confirming the fact that they will go to peace negotiations with the government, but they said if the government thinks they've beaten us, they're wrong.
Of course they will say that, and that's normal, and that's part of the negotiation.
How do you feel? Do you feel that they're on the back foot militarily?
They are. They are. This is a fact. We have given them the worst blows that they have received in the whole history. Militarily, they cannot take over any of the towns or any military bases. They can only do terrorism, which is a show of weakness. But in every struggle, in every conflict like this one, you have to try to find a negotiated end to the conflict, and that's why I think the conditions are right to find this negotiated end.
You were defense minister. I mean, you were in charge of this attempt to defeat them militarily.
Yes.
Personally, what shifted in your mind? I mean, you've gone from wanting to kill them to wanting to talk to them.
But I wanted to kill them because I wanted peace. I knew that if you did not strike them hard, you will never take them to a negotiating table. And modesty apart, there's no, in 50 years, nobody has hit them as hard as I have. But I've never made, and making war is much easier than making peace. And I make war, and I made war, not for the sake of a combat, but always having peace of mind. 2 years ago, here in New York, in the UN, I announced that we killed the military commander of the FARC. Since then, I was thinking of a peace process. Since then. And for 2 years, I've been talking secretly to many people, seeking advice on how to go about it. And that's why today we are sitting down next month in Oslo and start the process.
Former President Uribe is saying that actually this is, quote, a slap in the face of democracy, that you're negotiating with terrorists, that this is just the wrong way to go about it.
Well, seeking peace cannot be a slap in the face of any democracy. On the contrary, in our Constitution, one of the obligations of every citizen, starting with the President, is to seek peace. And some people think that the peace can be achieved by killing the last member of the FARC. And that is not possible, and this is not the way.
At what price peace? Now a vast majority of the Colombians approve of your peace negotiations, but the same vast majority, in fact slightly higher, do not want to pay any price. They don't want to see FARC in the political process. They don't want to, you know, give away the shop, so to speak. Would you bring them into the political process? Is that what you envision?
Well, it's a must. If we're telling them, listen, you have your objectives, we respect them, we don't agree with them. What we are proposing is try to use other means, democratic, non-violent means, to seek your objectives. But lay down your arms, otherwise we will not allow you. But if you do, if you lay down your arms, then we will give you the space to try in a democratic way to seek your objectives. This is normal. I mean, you can't ask the FARC to simply kneel down, surrender, and give us the arms. They will not do that. So there has to be some kind of way out, and this way out has to be you can be able to participate in the political arena. This is the way any conflict is settled, not only the Colombian conflict.
How do you make sure that it won't devolve, as it did the last time, into a pretext for regrouping, rearming, resting, and then going to war again?
Well, there's no guarantees, but one of the reasons I have not accepted a ceasefire is precisely the one you're mentioning. I've told them there will be ceasefire and we'll stop any military operation when we reach a final agreement. Then, when we terminate the conflict, we will stop military operations, not before.
They want a ceasefire. Is that going to be a deal breaker from the beginning?
No, because it's already accepted that we will talk in the middle of the war.
Let me ask you about Cuba, which is obviously helping to facilitate this. How should the United States look at that?
I think we should look at this participation of Cuba with good eyes. They are helping, they have been helpful, and anybody who is looking at this process, be it the US or the European countries or whatever, and sees somebody helping a country like mine achieve peace, should look at that participation with good eyes.
Venezuela has obviously been helping the FARC for a long time. How would you describe what they're doing right now? Are they withdrawing their help, and why?
Venezuela is helping a lot in this process also. Venezuela understands that for Venezuela, peace in Colombia is something positive.
But why does Mr. Chavez think that now, after all of these years of aiding and abetting FARC?
I think that at the beginning he probably thought that the FARC could maybe seek power through their traditional means, and now he's absolutely convinced, and as the world is, and as they are, the FARC is convinced that through violence they will achieve nothing.
What is your knowledge of the state of health of Mr. Chavez?
Well, if you ask me for the tone of his voice when I speak to him, he's very healthy. I see him strong, but I have no sort of detailed information.
So you were, quite dramatic at the UN, and you said you hoped that by this time next year you'd be able to come and announce peace in our time. Hopefully,
yes. I hope so. We negotiated a short agenda and a very pragmatic agenda. This was a tremendous breakthrough because so far they have insisted in negotiating the causes of the conflict, which is foreign investment, social policy, international relations. I've told them that could be discussed in Congress when you win an election, but not in the negotiating table armed. That is a no-no. And if I see that there's no progress, that they're simply trying to buy time, I will stand up and continue business as usual. And that's why there's no ceasefire, no decrease in our military operations, and my government agenda will continue as it was until then.
On that note, Mr. President, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.